Hi, I'm Newswatch 16's Chelsea Stroop, weekend anchor and general assignment reporter, multi-skilled journalist for WNEP TV in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. In local news, we're always trying to cover national events in a way that connects our regional audience here to the events wherever they are taking place. Sometimes it's easy. Other times it seems impossible, right? Well, when Hurricane Ian was approaching the shores of southwest Florida in the fall of 2022, the question came up: how can our audience become connected to the destruction and recovery effort there so they have a reason to be invested in the outcome as we continue to talk about it on air? Well, I decided to go to southwest Florida and spend one day trying to find connections in the recovery effort there to our viewers at home in Pennsylvania. The first connection I found was to a crew working to restore power to the people of Harlem Heights in Lee County, Florida, in Fort Myers.
Now, union linemen, ground hands, and operators from our area have been in Florida for more than a week, working to restore power to hundreds of thousands in the Fort Myers area who are still in the dark. Newswatch 16's Chelsea Stroop went to Florida this week and caught up with one crew member who says he has more reasons to miss home than most.
This handful of men is just a small portion of the thousands of crew members from around the country in Florida working to restore power right now. This crew from Luzerne County, made of IBEW Local 1319 members, is working in and around the Fort Myers area, not far from where Hurricane Ian made landfall.
What I've seen before, it's just absolute destruction down here. The winter storms are usually ice, down power lines, not putting people out of their homes or anything like that. But down here, people are flooded, houses are destroyed, cars are floating all over the place, losing their cars. So it's trees don't have leaves on them, ripped out of the ground. It's a pretty good amount of destruction.
Ryan Martin is from Berwick. He's been on recovery missions like this for the last 10 years. He says he misses the comforts of home.
We're sleeping on hammocks on the back of the truck, so my buddy Elliot's sleeping in the hammock in the back of the digger, and then I'm sleeping on the trailer with a mosquito hammock and showering beside the truck. And it's just the amount of people that are in our show-up in the man camp it's just overwhelming.
And he misses his family too.
I just wanted to be a part of what's going on down here and help people, but at the same time, my wife's expecting on December 16th.
Expecting their first son. But Ryan knows his time in Florida serves a bigger purpose for not only those communities, but his family at home too.
Doing everything I can with the economy and everything like that today to help the people down here, but also be able to make some money and be ready for when my wife has her baby.
Martin is hoping to be home by the end of next week, so he won't have to miss any more doctor appointments with his wife here at home. When this crew joined the effort, 2.8 million were without power in Florida. Each day, that number gets smaller and smaller. Chelsea Stroop, Newswatch 16, Lee County, Florida. Now, that crew was the only connection I knew might lead to a story when I set out to travel to Florida in the first place. And I was lucky to find someone like Ryan Martin with so much motivation to be there. To find more connections like that one, I took to Facebook the night before and relied on the power of social media to help me find them. Good evening, everyone. Newswatch 16's Chelsea Stroop here. As you can tell by the palm trees behind me, I'm not in northeastern or central Pennsylvania right now. I had the opportunity to travel to southwest Florida, where I'm currently staying for a few days, with the purpose of finding the NEPA connection to Hurricane Ian. Now, tomorrow I will be traveling to Collier and Lee counties in Florida. That's where Naples and Fort Myers are located. So if you know anyone who was affected by Hurricane Ian that has a connection to us in northeastern or central Pennsylvania, please try and connect us through a direct message, a comment below. That's what I'm here for. I want to tell those stories to the folks at home. So I appreciate any help you can give me, and I want you to know I'm staying safe in the meantime. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. In doing so, I found a man from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Luzerne County, helping with the cleanup of thousands of vehicles destroyed by storm surge in southwest Florida. Last week, Newswatch 16 was in the Fort Myers area of Florida to see some of the cleanup efforts there after Hurricane Ian. In doing so, we found a towing company from Wilkes-Barre, and the owner says his work there came with an unexpected dose of gratitude. As Victor Vega of Wilkes-Barre sees a fishing tour boat on top of San Carlos Boulevard in Fort Myers, Florida, he stands there in shock.
The destruction is just, this is the worst I've seen. I've been to 11 catastrophes around the country, and this is by far the worst when it comes to damage.
In between catastrophes, Vega is running towing and automotive businesses in Luzerne County.
We come down here with a team of other tow truck drivers and with a disaster relief. And what we do is we remove a lot of the water damaged vehicles in order for them to access their properties and to get the cleanup effort started.
This is an example of one of the cars Victor and his company would tow away from the destruction here near Fort Myers in San Carlos to an auction yard in Okeechobee or Arcadia. He says this one, though, is one of the easy ones. Some of these cars are not as easy to get to.
We're dealing with pulling out a car that's under a house that collapsed. Debris, oil, tons of hazards. We had one yesterday where we had to winch the boat off of the car, but the boat was initially in the water. And how it got, about 50 feet from the water on top of a car is. When we were initially pulling cars out of Naples, some of them were in like the fountain in the development and the high rise they're at. Some of them are in the bay. But the majority of them in the Naples area seem to be in the parking garage under the building, which is it's like a cereal bowl full of water.
Vega is expecting to be a part of the cleanup effort here for at least another month. So what will you take with you when you leave here and go home?
Appreciate everything you have. And no matter how little it is, appreciate it all, because just like that, it can just be gone. Whether it's materialistic or your own life, just appreciate it. And you wake up the next morning and you take that first breath, it's a blessing.
If you want to see more local efforts happening in the Florida area after Hurricane Ian, you can go to our website, WNEP.com. The last story I'll share with you is that of Bonnie Steimer. I found her through that plea on social media. Bonnie survived 2 major floods in central Pennsylvania in Columbia County in recent years, and then relocated to Florida for greener pastures. But it turned out she found more of the same with Hurricane Ian.
And the Newswatch 16 was in Southwest Florida last week, talking with people from our area who weathered that storm.
Newswatch 16's Chelsea Stroop found a victim in Cape Coral who is all too familiar with natural disasters.
Surveying property damage around her home is nothing new for Bonnie Steimer, a Berwick native now living in Cape Coral, Florida. This is Bonnie in 2012, showing Newswatch 16 where the water from Tropical Storm Lee flooded her home in Bloomsburg close to 11 years ago. That devastated much of Columbia County.
Yeah, this is my 3rd disaster, and I'm hoping if it's true that things come in threes that this is it for me. But 2006 and 2011, I lived on Fishing Creek in Bloomsburg and went through both of those floods. So here I am with this.
Bonnie was left with damage after Hurricane Ian made landfall not far from her Florida home.
There was no water here, but the wind was bad. We're looking at Category 4. Just blew everything all over the place. I basically stayed in my bathroom with my dogs and a pillow and listened to the wind and just prayed to God that everything held up and nothing came down on my head.
Bonnie didn't have power for more than a week here, and she knows the exterior damage she's left with is not as bad as others closer to the shore in the Fort Myers area. But she says she's getting unbelievable support from people from her hometown.
People from Berwick, they have been amazing. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Are they reaching out to you?
Yes. Berwick is a beautiful community.
Bonnie received anonymous support with this letter. Because you're from Berwick, because you're in need, it's not much, but I hope it helps.
They just are. They're beautiful people, and if anything happens to anyone in the community, Berwick people are there. They pitch in and they help, and they're amazing, and they're all in touch with me, and between even the kindness, the thoughts, the prayers, the support, it's just totally amazing. I mean, I'm down here, but I'm still in their hearts. So this is how people are in northeastern Pennsylvania. They give them of themselves, and they help, and God bless you all up there.
Chelsea Stroop, Newswatch 16, Lee County, Florida. Over the course of 24 hours, we found 6 stories to directly connect viewers at home in northeastern and central Pennsylvania to southwest Florida, as the nation's eyes were on the devastation and recovery efforts there after Hurricane Ian. All we had to do was look. Chelsea Stroop, Newswatch 16.